shit.
Up all night. Staying up all night.
Yeah, welcome back to the Mantry podcast. This is the Friday night edition. I am your host, Reggie, Milligan, co-founder at Mantry, and tonight we have a very simple and short show for you. This podcast is all about helping you cook better, and we do that through audio so you can listen to it on the go, while you're in the car, while you're commuting, while you're cleaning. The idea being that you can pick up a couple tips throughout your week so that when you actually get in the kitchen, you're just a little bit more ready to go. Tonight we got a very special and timely edition. We are covering 6 sanity-saving Thanksgiving tips. Thanksgiving is a soul-sucking, thankless task, cooking dinner for your friends or your family. Somebody has to do it, and if you happen to be the person this year stepping up to the plate, first of all, good on you, and second of all, we're here to help you with a couple tips to make it a little bit easier. So let's jump right into it. Let's preface this by saying in physics, there is a concept of inversion, which is tackling a product by turning it upside down. So on that note, really the key to a great Thanksgiving is just avoiding complete disaster. So the more that you approach it as, how do I mitigate total destruction, the better chance you have. So number 1, start early. 2 cider sipping afternoons is much more enjoyable than one frantic hustle day where you're running around, you're shopping, you're prepping, you're cooking all in the same day. We like the 3-day structure, which is day 1, shop, couple hours, day 2, prep, couple hours, and then day 3, cook. It might seem a little crazy to start 3 days in advance, but if you pace it out, it's not actually that much work each day, and you are going to be way, way, way more organized when it comes to the big moment of pulling the turkey out of the oven, which is really the main event. So all the prepping and cooking, you should do that well in advance of sort of needing to focus on the turkey, which is the showstopper. Number 2, you need to defend oven space. Unless you live in a palatial cottage up in Connecticut, you probably have a pretty undersized oven that can barely fit the 20-something pound bird that you have to put in there to feed your entire friends or family or whatnot. So prepping sides early is your friend. And more importantly, sides that can be prepped on the stove. So focus on getting these things out of the way the day before or the morning of. You can always reheat, and more things that can be done on the stove, better. The more blanching green beans and doing the baked green beans with almonds or doing your bacon roasted Brussels sprouts, you can do most of these sides on the stovetop. Your sweet potatoes, for example, like mashed sweet potatoes, you can do those a day in advance, and then you can reheat to order. It is so much easier to do that than worry about cooking everything in the oven at the same time at sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Number 3, go to the butcher early. So this is a classic example of a little bit of preparation will help you greatly. If you go to the butcher a couple weeks early, you can order a fresh turkey. Chances are they'll let you put it in an order where you just come and you pick up a completely fresh turkey that's not frozen. So most of the time, day of, for people that haven't got their shit together, butchers will have a bunch of frozen turkeys in the back. And 2 things are going to happen there. 1, it's going to take you like a full day to defrost that thing. And 2, a frozen bird is just so much less delicious than a fresh turkey. So go to your butcher today or tomorrow or at least 2 weeks in advance and say, I'm going to come in on this day, 3 days before Thanksgiving, and I need to pick up a fresh turkey. It'll make a big difference. Number 4, incredibly short tip, but Very, very effective. The secret to crispy skin: just leave your turkey unwrapped in the fridge overnight, and that'll get you beautifully crispy skin. Reason being that a little bit of the moisture that gets trapped in the skin of a bird, this goes for roasting any poultry any part of the year, chicken, quail, Cornish game hen, turkey. If you leave it uncovered overnight, it sort of just nicely dries out the skin. And so when you go to roast the turkey, it is a little bit less sort of rich with moisture, and it doesn't steam, like have these little micro steam reactions. So you actually get a skin that crisps up quickly, browns beautifully when you baste it, and comes out way nicer. Number 5, another very straightforward tip: respect the meat thermometer. So we don't need any heroes. It's actually really, really hard unless you're like a very qualified chef or a psychic to kind of do the old like grab the turkey leg, give it a jiggle, and see if the turkey's done. Trust the meat thermometer. Buy one on Amazon. They're like $20, especially the digital ones are great. Jam it in the breast. Make sure it reads the appropriate temperature for perfectly cooked turkey, and stick to that strategy. Too many cooks try to go out there and just sort of like poke around with their finger and jiggle around the turkey leg and all this stuff. Just trust the meat thermometer. And I mean, if anything, don't take it from us. Take it from Iron Chef Michael Symon, who says, quote, "Don't be too cool for the meat thermometer." Fantastic advice. Number 6, the final tip for this round. We're going to do a couple shows on Thanksgiving. Obviously, this is a big cooking event, so we want to cover it in full. But today, the final tip is don't stuff the stuffing. I mean, listen, stuffing is way more reliable, easier to prep, and more delicious when cooked outside of the bird. It is when you put stuffing and try and roast the whole turkey with the stuffing inside, it's actually really hard to pull off. And a lot of the times you undercook the stuffing inside and you overcook the bird, and it all just becomes a jumbled mess. And it's actually the number one cause of food poisoning on Thanksgiving is people basically taking a turkey, throwing the stuffing inside. By the time it's roasted the turkey, the stuffing's just sitting there with bread soaking up all the bacteria in the inside of the turkey, and it's a total mess. So you can cook it outside the bird. We've listed in the blog post related to this podcast 3 awesome stuffing recipes. One's from Savourer, one's from Serious Eats, which is a great food blog, and one is your standard simple stuffing, which is from Epicurious. So check those out. Don't try and get too inventive. You don't need to put the stuffing inside the bird. Cook it the day before or the afternoon before Thanksgiving. Throw it in the oven to finish off and heat up, and you'll be good to go. So those are 6 sanity-saving Thanksgiving tips. Number 1, start early. Number 2, defend your oven space. Number 3, go to the butcher early. Get that fresh turkey. Number 4, we gave you the secret to crispy skin, which is to unwrap your turkey in the fridge the night before. And 5 being respect the meat thermometer. You do not need any heroes. Just temperature is your friend. And 6, do not stuff the stuffing. Cook the stuffing outside of the bird. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, share it. We'll be back again with more Thanksgiving tips and more cooking tips in general. We enjoy making these things for you. If you liked it, share it. We have 0 marketing budget behind the podcast, but we're having fun making them. And I wanted to say also that make sure you check out the blog post in the show notes related to this, and also good luck cooking. Thank you.
Up all